Yo guys, what's going on? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite, and today we're going to be going over a ton of different cryptocurrencies. A lot of coins are looking really good, but at the same time, a lot of coins are not looking too hot. So we got to go through and check each individual one and see, is it really worth it to actually go into certain coins or to stay out of the market? Should you de-risk because it is December, it's going to be late December, and at that time, a lot of people like to just close out their positions and go do stuff for the holidays? Or are we going to, just look at the markets and potentially keep on going higher? Personally, I think the best decision, or what I'm going to try to do, is number one, put in key alerts at key areas and key buy orders at key areas, and also do some research into coins that potentially are not available on exchanges or are very new and have a lot of upside potential, and actually go into those and then just literally just hold them and just wait, because of the fact that we have so much potential actually coming into this market at this point. And for the last month and a half, I'd say, if not 2 months, we've had this crazy amount of upward momentum. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but hopefully it will last all of 2024 and then into 2025, where I believe the Pico top will be, which will be October or September of 2025. But things have been actually crushing it in the VIP. Like, we got VET over here, and VET is nearly at its take profit target right here. So this was a call just last month, and boom, as you can see, it's almost up 50%. That was actually crazy. But I've been having some absolutely insane calls. Literally just like 2 days ago, what did I put down here? I think I put it in here. I put something about this meme coin, and it was at 309, and now it's at 6, or then it pumped up to 6.368 in like literally 8 hours, excuse me. Like, it doubled in price in 8 hours. VET's doing really well. Someone mentioned something about my ICP trade. The internet computer trade was doing really well. So we have a lot of trades that are actually doing pretty crazy. Okay, ICP came within 4 cents of the take profit. So what did I say? I got in down here at 5.443. And where's it at now? Let's see, ICP 5.443. Yeah, now it's at 10. So yeah, that's 100x. That's 100% right there. So yeah, things are going really well for certain coins. Obviously, not all of them are hitting, but the ones that are hitting are making up for the ones that are losing and that aren't doing as well. So things, yeah, that's basically what my thesis is right now, is that overall, if the market was bearish, right? If the market was really super bearish, we would not be getting all of this. We would not be having stuff like this happen with ICP. We would not be having coins be continually, going up tremendously. Like, there's Beam, there's Rune, I think did extremely well. A lot of these coins just went on this massive tear over the last 2 months, and obviously this is not bear market. This is not full on bull market. Okay, no, this is full on bull market, but it's just not the retail crazy hype bull market that we get where things go up, 50% or 100% in a day. Even though there are coins that have been doing that, but things are looking really good for the most part. But like I mentioned, we do have to take a look at Bitcoin. We do have to look at Ethereum. But it's crazy because look at these. Like, these coins haven't Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't really moved that much. Like, after the drop on the 12th, they are still down from that drop. But there's so many coins. Like I just showed you, internet computer, ICP. Look at FET or Fetch. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at how crazy this was. Yeah, so there's a lot of coins that are above where they were above the high that they were at before the big drop of just of last week. So this would not be happening in a bear market, right? This only happens if things are extremely bullish. So I want to go through a lot of different coins. Let's go to the free chat. Check it out. These are the coins that I want to go to. So we'll start off with Bitcoin, then we'll go to Ethereum, and I'll do the market cap. I'll do the total market cap and all of that stuff, the dominance levels, and then we'll go through these. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is literally just talk about the market cycles really quickly, because that should always be in the back of your head. So we really should have the market cycle top, the fourth cycle top over here in September or October of 2025. And it should be probably somewhere, I don't know what price it's going to be, but I do know the dates, because this, according to this analysis that's been very, very, very accurate, this is where it should be. But the issue is that we've always had either after or before the halving. So this is before the halving, the price would come back down, right? So the price has gone up, but the price has not come really back down. It's just been up only, right? And typically we see at least sometimes where the price has a retracement before the halving, and I guess that's not always the case. I feel like that's just ingrained in people's minds, because look at 2015. In 2015, that did not happen, right? And if you look at 2011, it happened for 1 month, which, it's not that big a deal, right? So 2011, before the 2012 halving, didn't really, nothing really happened. 2015 didn't really happen before the 2016 happened. I mean, there was 1 month. Yeah, there was 1 month of it going down, but that wasn't too bad. And then in 2020, and then it was really just this one time. So actually, looking at this right now, yes, there might be one bad month, but typically there's not always a retracement before the Bitcoin halving. So we might not actually have a huge retracement. We have had 30% drawbacks or drawdown, 30% retracements after, during the bull market, like during the beginning phase of the bull market, and even during the later phases of the bull market, like right here, this was a 30% retracement back there, and this was a 21% retracement right there. But it's never too crazy. So there's a lot of people that are calling for, we're at 44 right now, and so 40 is fine. That's only a 9% retracement. And I guess 31, 32 is possible, because that is 28, 30%. But it just doesn't seem like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like we're going to get that. It doesn't seem like we're going to get it, it's going to be that, because it's going to retrace that much. It doesn't seem like it's going to retrace that much, at least not right now, but unless the ETF is denied, obviously. So I don't know. I just wanted to point this out. Overall, macro view, still extremely bullish unless the ETF is denied. So that's what I think about Bitcoin. Okay, so now let's take a look at the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency. So you could see from this chart right here that the total market cap for all of cryptocurrencies came down to $762 billion back in November of 2022. And that actually happened to be the 2020/2021 yearly highs, or yearly open and close. So if you go to the yearly chart, this is what's crazy about this. The price literally went up in 2021 and then retraced all the way back down in 2022 back to the 2020 levels. That did not happen back here the last time in January 2018. It only retraced probably 80% or so. But this one we chased all the way back down to the beginning of 2021 and just a little bit below it. So that's just like super interesting, I find. And I mean, if you look at this, you could see that it, right at the pinpoint top. I was hoping it was going to come back down to the 88%, but it is what it is. I ended up getting in after this big pump up, and I was like, oh shit, okay, like things are coming back into the market, But regardless, where we are now is pretty precarious. It is an area that is really, really, I wouldn't say super worrisome. I wouldn't say really, really worrisome. Even though I just did, I just meant it's a little bit. The idea of having caution here is warranted. This right here is really, really, really worrisome. Back up here, once the total market cap reaches 2.13 trillion. But right here, we are at the 38.2. So if you take the Fibonacci from the top, from the very Pico top to the bottom, right here, you can see that the price came back up and it did hit the 23.6 pretty much on the dot and then retraced back down. And then it stopped again here at the 23.6 and now it's moved up to the 38.2. So it is possible that for the monthly, the total market cap could go down on the monthly time frame. That would mean that we would see a lot of capital leaving crypto if that's the case. Let's take a look at December's though, just to see what happened. So last December, obviously that was really close to the top, so the market was going down. That was in 2021. In 2020, this is what happened in 2020. Well, we had the big breakout right here in November of 2020, and then in December of 2020, we had the actual breakout, right? Well, not really total breakout, but the breakout to the top of bring it back to the January 2018 levels, and it did not go down. It did not go down back then. And back here we had December, and yes, it did end up going down the next month. Well, it went up tremendously first, and then it went back down. So yeah, this is up then down from December to January, and then in 2021 it was just straight up, and then in 2022 it was straight down. But the market was already pretty screwed back then, and then in 2022 it was straight up. So yeah, we have up, down, we have up, we have down, and we have up. So yeah, it's back and forth. There's really no telling just based off of December whether it's going to go down or up. What I do see is that this is at the 38.2 resistance level on the total market cap. And let's go down to the weekly time frame. Honestly, this is not a good look. This is not a good candle to have here on the weekly time frame. So I would have at least 10%, if not 20% cash position at this point. Basically from here to here, I would say be all in. But right here, I would want to have at least 10% of my portfolio in cash. So I don't want to be completely in yet right now. However, if the total market cap does happen to fall back down to 1.395 trillion, this would be where I would want to basically be all in, go all in again. So that's the total market cap. And then once I want to be all in right from here all the way up to here. Or if we come up, let's go down to the daily chart. If we end up coming up again and making a new high, then I'll just be, all right, screw it, all in up until here. So that's the total market cap for everything. And then we have the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is like the altcoin market cap. And this is what's crazy about this. The altcoin market cap finally had this breakout out of this huge area. And not only did it have this breakout, but it had a retest. So the altcoin market cap looks extremely bullish because look at big breakout, standard retest, and now it's on its way up here. So that's why even though the total market cap looks like it's in a very heavy area, the altcoin market cap looks really good. And so if this was here, I would say, be in 20, 30, be in 30, 40, 50% cash. But this is right here. So that's why I'm only saying 10%, and 90% in the market right now. And actually still taking trades and still actively participating, and not just, taking my profits and running, because I think there is a lot more room to run, despite the fact that we have meme coins popping off right now. And there's a couple top signals, but I mean, just looking at this area is, it broke out of this huge accumulation phase, and it had the retest, and it's close to the support as opposed to close to the resistance, which is up here. So yeah, I think going into altcoins is, for the total market cap, this is where the money is flowing. Absolutely. So that's the total market cap. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin and altcoin dominance levels. Okay, so now let's take a look at the dominance levels. So looking at the dominance levels, you could see that this is the altcoin dominant level, and the altcoin dominance level has been trash against Bitcoin pretty much ever since the top back in November of 2022. Bitcoin has been crushing the vast majority of altcoins. Yes, there are a lot of altcoins, or some altcoins like Solana, Link, and Bonk, and some other ones that have outperformed Bitcoin. But for the most part, Bitcoin has been dominating the market when it comes to the dominance levels. So this is the altcoin dominance levels. One thing I will say though is take a look at this candle. This candle means that the price came down, or the dominance level, went down, but then a ton of people decided to jump into alts and really, really, really push it up. This is a super, super bullish candle to happen at the lows. And it does, this was the low. So we have not actually broken above this level yet, but because this candle occurred, this also makes me more bullish on alts right now. I would really have preferred to just have alts continue to go down and the market continue to tank until we basically reached this level for the altcoin dominance. But obviously alts are popping off and things are looking pretty decent for some of them, which is, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we have to find out which ones. But yeah, because of this right here, this is super, super, super bullish. So maybe we could go down into the daily chart and look for a break, look for some type of break. And you could argue, now that I'm doing this, you could argue that, yeah, we're breaking back above. So we had this really, really nice V-shaped reversal in the altcoin dominance, and now we're breaking above it on the short term, which is probably a predecessor to the longer term breakout. And if that's the case, altcoins should do really, really, really well. Obviously, we haven't had the breakout of the top, but by the time that happens, then it's already too late. That's why you have to, basically take the risk of thinking like, well, this just happened. That's super bullish. This just broke above here. That's super bullish. So, okay, we're getting the initial part of what we need to see. So now let's go in based off of that and determine if it, hopefully that's the best choice. So that's altcoin dominance. And then of course, Bitcoin dominance is the complete opposite of that, right? So for Bitcoin dominance, this has worked out really well. So Bitcoin has just been dominating. Bitcoin broke out, in June of 2023. So pretty much all of 2023, Bitcoin has been dominating. And now it went above the 38.2, retraced it, and I would have assumed that Bitcoin would continue to dominate up until here. But just like we saw on the altcoin charts, it's very possible that maybe this is the top of the Bitcoin dominance, and now the rotation is going into alts simply because of this candle. Like this whole setup right here is is screaming that alts are about to dominate, or alts are really about to dominate. Because look at this, we have the huge move up, okay, and then okay, the bulls tried to keep the price or keep the Bitcoin dominance moving up and more money flowing into Bitcoin, but way more money decided to flow into altcoins right here, and we created SFP of the previous high, and with a super long bearish wick. So I would not want to be in Bitcoin. I would transfer as much money out of Bitcoin as I can into altcoins at this point, simply because of this. Now, this is the weekly chart. Let's go down to the daily chart. If, for instance, if the daily chart happens to come back up and say close back above here, then Bitcoin's probably going to be the most dominant player, right? But it looks like altcoins are about to actually explode. Okay, taking a look at the US dollar. Typically when the dollar goes down, Bitcoin goes up. And okay, yeah, so the dollar on the weekly had this really bearish chart. So it was super bullish in 2023. What was Bitcoin doing in 2023? Well, actually, wait a minute. What was Bitcoin doing specifically July 2023 to October of 2023? Let's see. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. July 2023 was right here. Oh, and then Bitcoin started going down up until October of 2023. And look at the dollar. July of 2023 up until October of 2023. Yes, so there is a correlation, like very easy correlation right here, right? And it actually hit this weekly bearish order block for the dollar, and then started slamming down. And so really, I mean, we're in a down. It's going down. It's at the 61.8. So the dollar, it could rally, but overall, I mean, there's no play right here for the dollar. That's for sure. Like in my mind that I could see. I just see here's the low, here's the high. It's in the mid range. It's a little bit below the mid range, so it probably has a higher likelihood of going up, but you just can't say anything because we're in this micro downtrend, boom, or I guess macro downtrend, really. Down, lower highs, lower lows. It just broke below this V shape. That's not good for the dollar. So yeah, I'm 50-50 on the dollar, so don't really have a opinion there. The freaking S&P 500, brand new all-time highs. What the hell? Like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. I thought there was supposed to be a recession and a depression and all this fear mongering for the past 2 years, right? So and remember, all the fear mongering started like right around here, like, a few months into 2022. That's when everyone started coming out with all of the doom and gloom, saying we're going to have a depression, we're going to have a great recession, yada, yada, yada. And yet, look at what happened. The freaking price just soared up, and we're almost at new all-time highs in the stock market. So this is why you really shouldn't just listen to like all these figureheads that just tell you that we're going to be going down and down and down, and we're gonna have this great depression. The best thing that you could do, according to history, is to acquire assets. Literally stack assets that are good assets, whether that be the S&P 500, whether that be Bitcoin, whether that be, companies, whether that be real estate. It doesn't matter what it is. Just continue to stack assets. And over time, it continues to grow, especially and continue to stack them and put the most money in when everyone is calling for the big doom and gloom. Or if that actually happens and a big crash does happen, that's always the best time to actually go in. Okay, so now we can move on to Bitcoin on the monthly chart. You could see that I have two big areas plotted out. The first one is right here at 50% of the entire move down, and the 38.2% of the move up. So this area is a decent area for a pullback, to expect a pullback. But I think I've mentioned this before, that this area right here is really the area where I would expect the big pullback to happen, which is $47,000. That's the big one. So 47. And honestly, I was planning on selling starting at 45. From 45 to 47, that's the area to de-risk in my opinion, because 45,000, if you go to the yearly chart, you could see that 45,000 was the yearly close of the 2021, and it was the open of 2022. So this is quite a significant number, right? And then of course, moving up at 47,000, we have the 61.8 Fibonacci if you take from the high to the low. Let's see though, what if you take it from the, oh shit. So even if you take it from the, if body close on the weekly instead of from the wick, and you do that, and then you bring this, say, right over there, the 61.8, oh, everything starts lining up right here. I'm going to bring this down. I got to bring this down a little bit because this is the area. Oops, hold on one second. Let me delete this. All right. So, yeah, this is a really big area. So I want to get out. Honestly, I think we have one more pump up. I think there's one more pump up. It's going to form a big bearish candle right here. And then we're going to see a substantial jump. So this is higher time frame. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we have maybe 1, 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks of sideways to upward movement, and then it is donezo after that. So I'd be extremely careful. Like right here, I'm gonna de-risk. So let me actually put that in here. I'm gonna say, I put sell everything you have here. Maybe I'm gonna say de-risk 80%. I don't want to sell everything I have, but I want to de-risk 80%, you know? That's pretty big. This is the area for sure. 45,000 to 46,000 basically. Do I have another chart? So let me double check if I have another chart. This is my trading chart, so I don't really have, but yeah, I definitely want to make sure that this is in the books to start de-risking for sure. So yeah, Bitcoin, big picture stuff, 46K, I'm out of the markets. 50% of everything immediately gets sold into cash. And then after that, I won't actually be in the markets for at least a week. I'm just gonna stay sidelined for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll just work on my course, work on producing content, working on other stuff. But I don't want to be in any actual trades within this area. This is the area where there's the highest likelihood of it reversing, and obviously it might come all the way up to 50K. It might actually do that. I don't know, but like. And most likely, honestly, probably it will. It probably will come up to around 50,000 before retracing. But this is definitely the area where I do not want to be in. So I think we have a couple more weeks before that happens. And during these couple weeks, there's a possibility that the total market cap of altcoins is going to, move up significantly. So that's what I'm hoping for. And going down into the lower time frames for Bitcoin, it just, to me, this was the game plan. So we had the huge move up followed by the move down and the retest of this bearish order block. And yeah, there's a move down, but it's not incredibly bearish. It's not incredibly bullish. It's slightly more bearish than bullish. especially because, well, actually, it's just look at this, and it's just like low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. Like we've never actually come down and tested like the lows before, right? It's always just been like high and then like a retest of the resistance as support, right? So like this makes a new high. Well, that one didn't even work. Daily chart. Make a new high, retest the old resistance as support. Retest the old resistance as support. Did not even get the retest. And this was a new high, retest old resistance as support. Retest the old resistance. Make a new high. We still haven't retested the old resistance as support yet. Like technically, like we could come all the way down here and it'll still be bullish, like overall macro picture. So yeah, it's not really, it's still bullish overall, but this is just obviously is the first time that something like this has happened in a while, because from here to here, you know, where is that? That hasn't happened yet. This is the first time. But I'm not going to be shorting. There's no way I'm going to be shorting this. So I'm just going to chill. I'm not even in Bitcoin, like how I mentioned earlier. I'm not even in Bitcoin anymore because the altcoins are just going to be outperforming it. And so that's why we can move on to Ethereum. But Ethereum isn't even as good as Bitcoin. It really hasn't been as good as Bitcoin either. And if you look at the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart, I mean, look at this. It's basically on the monthly chart. Let's go down to the weekly chart. I mean, it's down here at the previous deviation, but do you really want to try to catch this knife with Ethereum? Or why not look at other coins that have outperformed Ethereum and have outperformed Bitcoin and then just go into those? This makes more sense, right? That to go into coins that are an uptrend. Like it's better to go into coins like on pullbacks, like say you see this, you know, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. Okay, get into it on a pullback right there, or this pullback or whatever, or get into it after it made a new all-time high or a new high, get in on this pullback, or it's a new high, get into it on this pullback, get into it on any pullback, even this pullback, sure, get into it. But since this came all the way back down, but after this, it sort of became like a bearish. It sort of became bearish, like once it broke down. Yes, this was the deviation that got it to the highs again, but it wasn't a new all-time high. Like see back here, this was higher than this previous high. This high after the market structure break to the downside was not as high as this, which means that overall this has actually turned into a downtrend, and now it's just been like down, you know, for weeks and weeks, months and months and months and months and months. Over a year now in a downtrend. So maybe if it, you know, I mean, this weekly candle was really good. This candle was a nice bullish weekly candle. And let's go to the daily chart. So you could theoretically put in a long position literally anywhere you want over here with a stop under here, and that would make sense. But I would say just look for other coins other than Ethereum, because Ethereum is pretty trash. So let's do that. Like first off, I'll look at Ethereum and just to get a little bit of a picture on the higher time frame, or big picture on the high time frame. And this is where Bitcoin is right now. Theoretically, like this is where Bitcoin is. It's right around here, because it only has a few more moves up to go, a few more percentage points up to go before it reaches the 61.8 golden ratio, right? That's what we just talked about. Ethereum is all the way down here. So is Ethereum going to like move up and get there and raise 45%? It might, but before it does that, it still has this it still has this huge resistance right here, which is pretty bad. Like this is gonna be bad. So if Ethereum comes up here, I would be very, very cautious about being in alts when Ethereum is right here. That's what I would do. That's what I would say. Be very cautious of alts when Ethereum is right here. And then if it happens to come up and then retest this, that would be great, because then it would be in this range, and then I would target here. And once it comes up here, then I would probably just get out of most altcoins. And that's Ethereum. But like, yeah, Ethereum, I don't want to be in it, and I don't want to be in Bitcoin, and I don't want to be in Ethereum. I'd rather look at other coins. So let's do that. Let's start looking at the other coins. So in the free chat, we got, what do I got? I got Beam as my first one. So let's go to Beam. So Beam actually just formed this its first bearish looking chart. So as you could see, there was this massive uptrend, and now Beam has finally crashed below it. Not only that, but you could see there was a low, high, higher low, higher high, and then that just consistently happened over and 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 over again. Okay. Also, you could have gotten in on the bullish order blocks here, or here, or here, but now this was the bullish order block. Boom, price comes down, and nope, now it's fallen below there. So that does not work anymore as well. And we had a high, and then we created a low, and then a high, and now we're creating another lower low, and it's breaking this right here. So this is a bearish market structure break. So I would be out of Beam. This actually looks like something that I would be wanting to short if I felt like shorting was the thing to do. So yeah, not really liking Beam too much. This is obviously a topping pattern, and I would honestly just think that the 61.8 is where it wants to go to. I mean, this was a pretty big resistance back here. So yeah, I would say this area, yeah, this is a big support resistance area, 61.8. This is where I would buy. So I would put in an order something like this. And this also is a head and shoulders pattern. So this is the shoulder, this is the left shoulder, this is the right, this is the top, and then this is the right shoulder, and it's going to come down to at least from the shoulder. Let's see what this is. Boom, boom, and then the measured move. Okay, so the measured move from the left shoulder to the head and then all the way back down is right around the 78.6. So maybe I would bring this down right around here, actually, and this would be my trade setup for Beam. I would do something like this. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do for Beam. All right, so that was Beam. Next up, we have Injective protocol. For Injective, looking like it's topping out, but then again, it looked like it topped out right here when we had this market structure break right there. The only difference is that when this happened right here, you could see that it, made a high. Well, I guess you could argue that this was the high, this was the low, this was the new high, and then it broke down, it broke the market structure, right? And then technically it needed to come up, retest it, and then come back down. And once it broke down here, then it would be in a confirmed downtrend. While now we made the high, we made the low, we made the new high, and then it came back down and it did break this right here, which was the market structure break to the downside, which confirmed the downtrend. And now we had the move up again, followed by another move down. So this is technically bearish on the 4-hour chart, INJ. So you would look for shorts if that's something that you do, and then simply, go for this. I would try to short it right here, stop above here, and target down here. But I'm not looking to short. I'm not really. Ooh, actually, I don't know. The 12-hour does look. So that was on the 4-hour. So you could see on the 4-hour exactly why it's in a downtrend. On the 12-hour, 1, 2, 3, 3 big bearish wicks to the downside. I mean, 3 bearish long wick candles to the upside. This is a bearish looking chart. This is definitely a bearish looking chart from right here. This looks like it's topped out. So I would not want to be getting into INJ. However, maybe there's something that I could see here. Like for instance, and look at the daily. That's just bad. That's really bad. Yeah. So on the daily chart, looks like we went up, had consolidation, went up. So the question is, are we just going to consolidate again, or are we and then move up, or are we going to come back down? I think that we come all the way back down. I think INJ is about to have a pretty serious correction. To be honest, I do think that INJ is going to have a serious correction. And I think that it's going to come down to at least $22. So if it does come down here, this would be the buy. This would be the buy. And honestly, this does look like such a good trade setup for a short that I will try my hand at a short position like this. I'll say this will be my short, and I'll do it. I'll do it, but I won't be risking very much. I'll risk like 0.5% or 0.25% or so. I'll risk like very, 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 very little on this trade. So let me see what this looks like right here. And this is 30.29. So sell 30.29, and the stop loss is at 33.01 or 33.02, I'll just say. And I'm going to risk 0.5%, because you do not want to risk a lot when shorting, shorting the market, when it's like this, when it's the way that it is, 25.3333, 25. This is going to be my target, is 25.333, and there you go. So yeah, so I have this in here, but it's not really I don't know. I don't really like trade. I would much rather just wait until it comes back down here and then buy it once it's here. Okay, so now let's take a look at AVAX. So AVAX is one that's been on an absolute freaking runner. Absolute runner. And there's literally nothing that you could do at this point. You missed the train from a technical standpoint. And yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, you could argue that this was the range and it just broke through it, so maybe get in on a retest right here. But this was you can't even argue that. You can't even argue that. From a perspective of, all right, it's at the 38.2, so it's probably topping out right now. Probably gonna top out right now. I would argue that the best place to buy it is right here. This is probably the best place to buy it. So that's what I would be looking for. Yeah, I would be looking for right there, and then also down here as well. So these would be my two buys for AVAX, but I wouldn't really touch it right now because it's just too there's no, like, let's go down to a lower time frame. I guess if you want to look at the lower time frame. All right, this is a daily time frame. So daily time frame, you could say right here. Let's go down to 12 hour. It's just up, down, up, retraces, gets the order block, and then pumps up. Retraces within the order block, pumps up. Maybe it'll come back down into here. Like, it's really just constantly moving higher and higher and higher. And you have to play, like, if you're going to play it, I don't know. I mean, this looks like it's, I don't know why this is this way. It should be like this. Yeah, this is some sort of, it's like that. So yeah, this is not what I like. I don't really like to trade this type of stuff because I just would rather wait. It's like as soon as this breaks down, it has the potential to fall hard. Or yeah, so AVAX, I don't know. Literally nothing I could say on AVAX. Nothing I could say on AVAX except for that if it falls back down to $30, that would be really, really good. That would be a great buy to buy it at 30. So that's what I say. Okay, so next up we have TIA. And TIA, even though TIA, it has been on this absolute run, this runner, just constantly moving up, right? It's actually not like something that I want to write off, because if you take the look from the bottom to the top, it's only up 570%, which, it's only up 570%. But no, that's not a lot for crypto. And this is still a new project. And there's really like nothing, it's in blue sky territory. So even though this, I guess this daily candle right here isn't the best, it's still making constantly making higher highs and higher lows. So it had this move up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you count, if that's the top, then I would say probably, try to get in somewhere right around $10. I think anywhere between $9.50 and $10 for TIA is solid, and this is where I would want to, I want to grab some here because this is the low, this is the high. It could still make a higher low right here at, $11, $10.50, $10.05, even just $10 in general. It can make a higher low and then can just continue to move up. So yeah, I don't really see a reason to not try to buy it right over here. And hopefully, the other thing is that if you go into the 12 hour, we did have a high, low, higher, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then a boom, lower low compared to right here. This was a bearish market structure break, and then it just consolidated and then went up. So it had a bearish market structure break and it still went up. So now, even if we do come all the way back down, let's say we come all the way back down here and have this bearish market structure break here, it's happened before, but I like how, I wouldn't buy it right now, but I would say if it comes down to this level, this is where I'd be buying it, honestly, like anywhere right here and below. This is where I would want to stack TIA, and I would probably just stack it for the long term because it's done so well during this, during basically since it's come out. That's a really good idea of what it's going to do in the future. If it's done so well right now, it's probably going to do extremely well during the actual bull run. So I do like it, and I do definitely want to have a bag in my long-term portfolio. So let me write this out right here. I'm going to say if it comes down here, I'm going to buy and hold for my long-term portfolio. All right, so now we got SNX. Look at SNX, pretty nice. I like how it was in this, looks like it was in this accumulation range and it broke out, and now it's on its way to wherever it wants to go, basically. SNX has a long way. This is actually a coin that I really like. So yeah, it's not as new as many other coins, but it is pretty good in my opinion. So I don't think it's ever coming back down there. But I do think that if it does come back and retouch this support line right here, then that would be a really good buy, basically, if it could come back and retouch this line. And I would say pretty much anywhere within this box. I wouldn't really want it to come back and close underneath here and stick around underneath here for too long. But yeah, I could see it coming down to the 50% right there before moving up. So let me go into the daily chart, just a little bit lower time frame. And look at this, big support, resistance, fake out, or actually a breakout, support, and then a breakdown, resistance. So this level is huge. This is actually really, really, really big, this level. So this, I would definitely want to start stacking some SNX at, $3.50. That sounds really, really, really good. And I would honestly probably just stack it and then just wait and just wait for the bull market. But I would take some off the table. I would take some off the table right there for SNX. Okay, so now looking at TRB, this honestly looks like a double top because it looks like it came up, obviously fell down, consolidated, came back up, and boom, now it didn't have enough momentum to go above the previous top. So I wouldn't be looking to long it, and also there's lots of wicks up here saying that looking like it's not too hot. So I wouldn't really want to be longing TRB right here. I probably wouldn't short it either. But yeah, this was a coin that had a really, really, really nice run up, and that is so annoying. I would this is what I would have done if I saw this back here or over here or something, and I would have gotten in at the 61.8 down there, but then it fell below. Look at this. This is crazy. So once it got right here, you're thinking you're doing really good, right? And then it falls down and you're like, oh crap. So you probably sell, and then you see these two candles and the move up. So you probably buy back, and then it smashes down. And then after it smashes down, there's no real buy. I don't see any real buy signal here. And then just slams all the way up, and you miss this entire move up. This is crazy how it's just you could see that. I could see this from a trader's point of view, how aggravating this would be. Just how this would be. This is a reason why buying and holding is easier than trading. That's all I gotta say. So like I mentioned, looks somewhat like a double top. Probably would not buy it, because once this move down happened, this was the bearish market structure break. So then basically you look for a short right here into bearish order block, and then short it down to at least right here, which would be the bullish order block of this move up, right? Or I guess you could say right here, which would be the bullish breaker. But regardless, where it is right now, right in the middle, I would Big picture looks like a double top. Short term, I'd probably just, I'd probably want to buy it right down here at $93, but I'd probably buy it here and then get out pretty quick. There's not a huge trade setup because ultimately this is down and it's up at the same time. Let's look at the weekly time frame. Yeah. This is technically in a downtrend. Down, up, down. Well, actually, down, up, down. This is a lower high. That's all we have for now, is that this is a lower high. See, as this continued to move up, like moved up, okay, so you want to get in on a retrace. Move up, you want to get in on a retrace. Move up, you want to get in on a retrace. And there's all green, right? So get in right here, boom. Move up, move down, but there has not been a break in market structure yet. Move up, move down, move up, move down, and not really a break of the market structure, because it's just not, in my opinion. Move up. Okay, so this is consolidation. Move up, move down, move up, move down, move up, move down. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Consolidation. Move up, boom. Break below the consolidation. That would be like if this candle broke below here, right? That would be bearish. So can't really say much more on TRB. This is not, looking at this, it looks like a double top type formation. So I would assume that it's going to come back down and eventually come back down here. And this is where I would want to buy TRB if I had to. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I will, but yeah, this is where I would buy it if I had to. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is really interesting because in about a month, Elon Musk is going to send a rocket ship up to space, and in it, there's a big cargo thing called Doge 1. I think the whole mission is sponsored or paid for by Doge. And so because of that, obviously, that's a huge catalyst, fundamental catalyst for Dogecoin, right? Monthly looks good on everything. And clearly this is the low, this is the high, this is the low, and it looks like it's on its way back up to the high. So it's like, okay, you could just buy it. Like I have a lot of Doge. Just waiting for the big announcement, basically, or waiting for the rocket ship to move up. But that's not actually the only reason I have it. I also have a lot of Doge because Elon Musk has the payment service of Twitter, right? So whenever he announces that Twitter's or X.com is going to become a payment service, that obviously will just rocket Doge up like just tremendously. So yeah, I do really like Doge from a fundamental perspective. From a technical perspective, what do we have? We have the obvious range is pretty much right here. This is basically the range. So let's say range low, range high. Okay. And yeah, we broke above it, and then retested it a couple times. We really don't want to come back below here. And yeah, if we fall back down below here, that would suck. So let me just write that in. Don't want to fall back below here and close. That would suck because that would put us back into this whole entire territory, and then, this is on the table. I just don't really see that. I just don't see that happening right now, but that is a possibility. So ever since December 9th, so about a week, just a few days ago, about a week ago to 2 weeks ago, it's at around the same price So it's not moving super quick, but I think I'm going to have I want to have at least a little bit of Doge based solely off of that rocket. And then if it comes back down, I'll probably just buy more at, yeah, as it comes, as far as a trade goes, sort of a tough one but you could argue that this is a trade right here, just put this in. You don't want it to close back down there, and then you could honestly just target the highs of the range. That's a possibility because it's just sort of ranging right now. Yeah, just simply ranging on the lower time frames. It's not doing anything crazy. So, and as long as it's above here, this is major support below it. All right, now it's back above it. I'd say that this is not terrible. This is not a terrible looking trade, but I think I'll just buy some and just hold some because eventually, in my mind, it's going to pump thanks to Elon and the X announcement and them becoming a payment processor. And of course, it also has that rocket ship thing going for it next month. So yeah, I think I'm just going to buy a little bit and hold. Okay, so that was Doge. Let's go on to RNDR. So RNDR, render, has just been also one of the ones that have been absolutely tearing it up. It's at $4.03, right? $4.30 right now. And yeah, it's almost, is this the same? I wonder if it's on KuCoin. Okay, so yeah, there's more on KuCoin. So it's on KuCoin, it's on Coinbase, it's on MEXC. It is on MEXC, which is great. Okay, so I'll use MEXC. And yeah, I mean, this is not really tradable on the weekly time frame. If you go down to the daily time frame, then it looks like it's just up, consolidate, up, consolidate, up, consolidate. Big move down to stop a lot of people out, and then up. So yeah, there hasn't been any true pullbacks, really. There's been no true pullbacks. So this was really just you had to be in it. So let's see here. This area right here was obviously a very, very important level. So yeah, I mean, if it happens to come back down to $2.35, that would be the very, very, very obvious buy. But it actually, you'd want to get in before that. You'd want to get in right here, or at least I don't know. I would start stacking in orders from here to here. That's what I would do. So this is my game plan for RNDR. Is if it happens to come back down here, I'm just going to average in and then wait until it goes past its all-time high, because I do believe that it will go past its all-time high eventually, considering how good it's done in the bull market, in the bear market. Yeah, literally this entire year, it looks like it's outperformed Bitcoin, by over 10 times. So, yeah, it's up over 1,000%. So I think I would rather wait for it to come back down to this area to try to get in instead of chasing this. So I'm going to RNDR, publish this like this. Okay. Next up, we got Solana, the freaking king of this market cycle so far. And yeah, I would say looking on the weekly time frame, it looks like this right here is the weekly bullish order block. So I'd want to try to get in somewhere down there. Go down to the daily chart. like, first off, back of the week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could potentially be a 5 waves. That would be sort of crazy if it is. If it is, then this is the ideal buy zone for sure. $42 is the ideal buy. So I would make this green, but I don't know if it'll really come back down there. That's the thing. So I would say that this area right here is a prime candidate for picking up some long positions for Solana. So probably like $56. That is what I would want, because there's this, right? And I could see something like this happening. And then it, like, you know, resuming course and oops, moving back up, right? So that's what I would think is going to happen with Solana. Okay, then there's this one. It's called Eternal AI, and it goes by the ticker MIND. And this is obviously way too new to do anything with, but it has some potential. So I would like to, acquire some. Anything in the AI, in the AI space, I think is going good. I need to do a lot more research. I need to do research into this. So maybe I'll do that when I do my research video tomorrow or the next day or whenever. And that's gonna be mined. So I just wanted to throw that in there really quickly. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is like one of those things that's basically 50x or it's going to 0 type of deal. And I might have a few more of these in this video. It's going to be up to you to actually look at them and discern if you want to buy them or not, because even I don't know too much about this. And speaking of small caps, there's also this one called ABEL, which I am starting to buy some. So I just put a small amount in right here, and I'll probably just keep on averaging in. Like, I don't really know enough about this to make an informed decision yet, so I only put in a small amount. But a lot of people are saying that this is a really good one to get into, so I'm in it. The only issue is that, of course, if you look right here, you can see that it's at a major resistance. So I wouldn't be opposed to it coming back down here. In fact, it probably will, unless it just, consolidates, and then, pumps up. But if it happens to come back down here, that's where I want to get in for ABEL. And then there is AGRS, which is another really low small cap, and or small cap. And this one is another one that I haven't done too much research, but I'm just giving you these because I've heard things about these. I don't know anything about them, but I've heard things about them. So I just figured I'd put them in here. And if, like I said, if you want to go do your own research, maybe you will think that these are good projects. And these have like 50x, potential, maybe 100x potential. I don't know. A lot of these other ones don't, because, they're older cryptocurrencies, and maybe they have a 5x or 10x or 15x potential, maybe 20x potential. But yeah, these ones are like the smaller cap, the like quote unquote gems. And as you could see, there's actually a lot more that I want to go over, but this video is already over an hour, and I've been spending at least a few hours on this video. So I'm gonna have to just make another one tomorrow and the next day as I keep on going over these. But Jad did ask me about HNT, so I will look into HNT. And he actually showed me some cool stuff about them. They partnered up with AT&T or T-Mobile or something like that. And so they fundamentally, from a fundamental perspective, look really good. And this was just massive accumulation. And now you could see there was a big breakout. So one thing that I will say is that if you see coins like this that look like they're in the accumulation phase and they have not broken out yet, they could be really good spot buys. So like for one, I know is DYDX, right? So let me look at this, and I actually just put an order on because of the fact that this was the accumulation, and you could see that simply like this. So this is DYDX, right? And then HNT. What does HNT look like? This is HNT. So yeah, HNT is looking great now, but as far as trading it, I would say with these two huge bearish long wick candles, I wouldn't want to touch it now. However, this right here is a really good area to be looking for the, you know, basically SR flip / bullish order block. If we zoom back a little bit, this is another, like a cluster. So yeah, this is a decent area. Let's see if there's confluence with maybe a Fibonacci level. So from the top, there is, from this right here, it's the, almost the 38, 50, 61. It's within this range, which is good. It's under the 50%. That's really what matters in my opinion. Maybe on the weekly chart, if we go from the low to the high, this is the 38.2. So that could be, that could be something, 38.2. And I mean, obviously right now, I could definitely see this coming back down, and that's 30% from here. And if we're very bullish, 30% dip is what you want to buy. So yeah, this is what I would do for HNT. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully we keep on moving up in the markets. This is a really tricky situation that's going on right now, but like I said in the beginning, overall, I think that we are still looking to move up. I'm not 100% bearish. I'm not even really 50% bearish. I'm aiming for higher prices, but also we got to look at the individual tokens. And also, the vast majority of my account at this point is just in my investment account, and I'm trying not to touch it. It's really hard because I do trade, up and down and back and forth. I trade all the time, and it's so addicting. But for the most part, I try not to touch my investment account, and that's why I have a couple different accounts. And my trading account is I don't want to put too much in there or I don't want to touch too many things until there's like really, really key levels, especially that big key level of, 45, 46, 47, 48,000 Bitcoin. That's pretty big. And if Ethereum decides to rocket ship up, then that would be big too. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I want to make other videos doing more research-based stuff. So I'll try to make a research-based video tomorrow. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go over 10 more coins tomorrow, and then I'll do a research-based video. And because there are a couple coins that I want to get into, like Research Coin. It's literally called Research Coin. Brian Armstrong's supposed to be, or Brian Armstrong is one of the co-founders of that. So yeah, there's a lot of potential out there, and most of the biggest gains are going to come from getting into these lower cap coins and then just riding them out during the bull run. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but keep on making those gains and keep on stacking those sats. I'll see you in the next video.